My name is Keith, and I live in Sydney, Australia. And I met Arlindo Martins about 4 years ago, and we've been working together ever since. I'm also a journalist, so this is a great opportunity for me to talk to Arlindo in a more formal capacity and asking him some questions. Arlindo, first of all, would you recommend group work over personal trainership, or do you think it's really good to do one-to-one between people, particularly when they're new or particularly when they haven't had much experience of working with their body, just as I had virtually no experience at all? Which would you go for, first of all? Would you say one-to-one and then go into group, or are there some people who are better in a group situation? What would you say?
Okay, yeah, no, it's a great question, Kit, and we could use your, I can start answering that using your example. So when you came to me, like I do with everyone, we had the initial conversation where I asked you questions about, your exercise experience and your health situations, if you have limitations or injuries or pain. So I need all this information. And then I did the assessment. When I assess you about your skills, about your balance, your strength, your coordination, your agility, then I realized, wow, Kit, hasn't been doing much sports or physical activity in his life. So, and you had so many limitations. So we in this case, like yours, it's crucial to start with private service. And why is that? And we need to understand one thing is when we get older. So we are talking about older people. We are not talking about young people in their 20s, 30s. These bodies, when we are young, the bodies are so healthy in general that group classes works very well. At least works. Okay, but when we start, I would say more in the 50s, especially 50s, the bodies start to change, and the 60s change more, and the 70s more and more. And the body becomes like unique. And why is unique? Because, someone has shoulder problems, someone has neck problems, someone has lower back problems, someone has hip problems, someone has knee problems. And what happens is when we have these kind of limitations, this is one of the reasons, if we go to a group class, where the instructor, has, can maybe have 10 people, 15, 20 people in the class. It's impossible for the instructor to assist the person, to modify the exercises, to help the person to do the things in a safe way. So it's very common to get injured. When we are older, we go to group classes. When I'm talking group classes, for example, yoga, play some groups like basketball for older people. People easily get injured. Another thing is we have another few other reasons that really people need to be careful about group classes. One thing is about the instructor. Also, the instructor needs to be someone experienced with really good knowledge when you are working with older people, because the trainer needs to really modify the program to suit the people. Sometimes I had this year a couple, they asked me to work together. So I did the assessment in the beginning. I assessed them, and and they had some physical difference, but we'd like to work together. I think because it's more fun and they could save some money. And it was two people, only two, not a big group, only two. So one was 70 something and the other 60 something. And what happened is I realized teaching two people, even they are very similar, but I shouldn't have put them together, because when I was teaching both, the program was similar with some modification. So sometimes I was focused on this one, correcting this one, and then if I'm correcting one and check that person, I can't see that one because I'm focusing one for a few seconds. And that sometimes for a few seconds, the other one decide to do, something different or pushing too hard. And because I wasn't looking them, they hurt themselves. Okay. So It's another thing when we, especially if we haven't been doing exercise for a long time, even if we did in the past, but we haven't done for at least 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years. If we haven't doing, when we start doing, when we are older, we start doing, is dangerous. Why? Because we think that maybe the body is working very well, all working well. We don't have problems, but some parts of the body, some joints, some muscles are weak, and we don't know. And when we do the exercise, especially in the group, when I'm in the group, we think we can do that variation or that exercise that the instructor is asking to do, and then we try to do, and then we hurt. And this is very, very common. So that's why it's very important when you get older to start with private service, because we can minimize all these problems. Let me.
Now, you mentioned the M word, money. Often that can be a barrier. As you said, it's cheaper to work in a group than it is to actually have a personal trainer. There could be quite a few issues about money. First of all, do you have money that you can spend on something like this? The attitude of some people is it's a luxury to have a personal trainer. It seems somewhat excessive at my age to have a personal trainer. Better to just join a group, etc., etc. Do you have people that have perhaps stopped working with you because of money problems, or do you have people that actually say, no, it is worth it? I really see working with you for a few weeks, a few months, actually, I realize that this is a very important part of my becoming a healthy person, and I'm prepared to pay the money. What is your attitude to money? How do you actually price your work? Because you're putting in years of experience into everything that you do with your clients. You haven't just turned up the last couple of years. You've actually been working for well over a decade on this particular work. You are a specialist. So how do you decide how much you're going to charge?
It's a very good question. Yeah, it's a very good question. So I have people that they don't start with me because they don't have the money to pay, and that's their reality. And the thing is, I like to compare, when humans as a car. So if you have a car, if you do, we have a car, but we need to check sometimes the oil, we need to check the water, we need to check the tires, the brakes. If you do this in a regular basis, and we do the maintenance, we pay. When we need to fix, we fix. We spend a little bit, and we keep the car for long. But if you don't check anything, you drive the car, you drive your car to the limit. One day the engine, boom, it's going to break. Then you're going to need to replace the engine, and then you're going to pay a lot. So that's what happened with our body. Most of people that come to me, they didn't do any self-care. They didn't take care of the health for years and years and years. And usually, when then people are with lots of problems, they come to me, and then they are asking me for the group classes, and I understand why they're asking for the group classes. Some because they don't have money. And some they want to save money. Even some rich people, they ask for group classes. They don't want to spend in personal training. So the thing is, guys, if you didn't take care of your body for many years, now you can go for group classes, but the chance of get injured, the chance of get really frustrated, the chance of hurt yourself, the chance to feel really embarrassed because you can't do the things is really, really high. So what is the best thing is make sure you take care of your body, your health all your life, so you don't need the personal training. So if you don't do that, you need to invest in the personal training. And the good thing is, when you invest in the personal training, you don't need to invest for all your life. You can start with personal training, to improve your health, your movements, your abilities. And after a while, you start to get ready to join group classes. So you invest for maybe a few weeks, a few months, or even a year. It depends on the person. And then when you have the skills, then you can join the group class and you can save much more money. So you need to do investment. I have one client is now is 73 years old. It's very rare. He come directly to my group classes, and 73. And then he never, since he was 16, he was doing yoga. He did triathlons, marathons, and so many. So he was being active all his life. So he didn't have any problems to start my group classes. But it's very rare to happen. And a few more things very important to take in account when we get older is we and the reason we need to maybe need a personal coach is because the body has so many limitations, or even if it's a few limitations. What happened in my experience is doesn't exist the right program for that person. What do I mean? So when we do courses, yoga course or animal flow course or any other fitness course, we learn the main exercise and then 3 or 4 variations. What does it mean? Is, guys, this is the goal of doing is this the way to do the exercise is this way. But if the person can't do this one, we learn 2 or 3 different ways of doing, modified variations, and sometimes also we learn more advanced. So we have the main one plus 4 or 5 variations or 2 variations. This works very well, or in general, with younger people. When you get older, you look at the main exercise as a trainer, doesn't work for the client. You look to all the variations that you learn, and none of them work for that body, because the person has a specific problem in the elbow and tensions on the neck. This is an example. So as a trainer, you need to have really, really knowledge or a lot of experience to what exercise I'm going to create. So to give an idea, Kit, all my clients over 50 and 60 I have at the moment, none of them I'm doing the same program. None. If I put all the programs next, I show you all is different. Of course, something is similar, but it is different. Okay, and so that's another thing. The body has limitations. So this makes the trainer to find specific movements, specific ways of doing it for each person. Okay, so that's why when you go to a group class where even if it's only 3 or 4 people, not with COVID, but if it's 10 people, the instructor, because the instructor is teaching, let's give an example of yoga class, because I practice yoga and I really like yoga, but when I go to yoga classes, I don't teach yoga, but so when I go to class, sometimes I see older people, I see the instructor, and the instructor says, okay, this is the way to do, but I'm going to give you 2 variations, and I look to the older person that is new in the room, and sometimes I don't put because I don't want to make anyone embarrassed, but it's like I'm putting the hands on my head, like, oh my God, the guy is going to, pull something so soon. And the trainer, and some trainers, and I don't want, it's not, my idea is not to criticize the trainers, but the trainers, they don't say anything, some of them. And sometimes I get really, when this happens, I feel like, wow, what's happened here? So what I realize is the trainers don't have experience enough sometimes to be able to modify the exercise for that person. In the group class, it's very hard to modify because we have more students in the class, and we can't put, okay, this guy is very weak, I'm going to spend 95% of the time with this guy, and I'm not giving any time to the other ones. It's not possible because everyone is paying the same. So, this is the things we need to take in account when we are older, to need to think about. And back to the questions of the mind, the money. And because when I do my job, I want is out of questions not doing the best of myself. So when I have someone with limitations, I go home, I think, I plan, I make videos, I meet the person, I record, I say, okay, I put a lot of effort in my service. So that's why my service is impossible to be a cheap service. It's impossible. It won't be otherwise I can't charge low prices because it's impossible. It's too many years of experience, too many effort, too many focus, too many planning, too many organizing. Yeah, because working with younger people, I can guarantee you, is very easy. It's the same program. I have a program, level 1, level 2. I teach level 1. I move to level 2. The same exercises for everyone and works. For older people, not. But please don't take me wrong. One thing I really like it is to teach group classes. That's my favorite. I really like to teach one-to-one, but the group classes is amazing. The energy, the people there, the group, that's my favorite. When I don't want people, then if you are watching this video, that my main thing is try to convince you to do private lessons. No, 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 no. As soon as you are able to do private, you move to group lessons. I'm the first person. I'm going to tell you, hey, join the group classes. That's why I have my Arlindo's Way community. I have social events that to bring people together as much as possible, because it's very important for our, not our physical health, for our emotional and mental health, to social aspect. Another reason to come to start with private service one-to-one is that I notice is lots of clients, they come to me, they haven't done much exercise lately, or they never did any exercise. And then when they never did exercise, they have usually one thing in common. They feel very insecure. They think they are uncoordinated. They are not good learners. So, and what happens is, if you go for a group class, is going to reinforce that, because you are going to have difficulty to learn, you're going to have difficulties to do the right exercises, you don't know your body. So your beliefs about, I'm not good enough, I'm uncoordinated, maybe the exercise is not for me, is going to reinforce, and you're going to lose your motivation. Another advantage to start with one-to-one with a coach is this one. Even if you don't have the motivations to exercise, you know you are paying the guy, and the guy is waiting for you, or the guy is coming to your house, and you're going to do it. But if it's a group class, you think, I know, it's another, today I'm not going, the training is there with my friends, so if I miss today, it's not a problem. So in the beginning, especially in the beginning, in the first 6 months, that's what is hard to get motivation, the first 6 months, to create new habits, new disciplines, new routines. That's the time that takes when you do regular things. After 6 months, if you can do for 6 months without stopping, then it's much easier to keep the habit and the routines about exercising. So that's why one of the reasons to have a personal coach is about motivation. I'm not going to miss, or the guy's coming to my house, I'm not running away. And I will say, to finish, if you are ready to start a group class, please do group classes. It's so good. The environment is so good.